go, there we go. Okay, so I think I got everything. All right, so let's look over here at the scans and see what we got today. We got Acon up quite a bit. I'm definitely gonna throw that onto the watch. $6.32, up 106%. We got AMAM. We've seen that one before. Its original news was talking about breast cancer and things like that. We'll see what news it has. SPEC, SPEC, up 67%. Um, and then VINC up 43%. So we got four we can kind of look into. Let's get to it. So first of all, we'll start with the biggest mover, Acon. We'll pop over here to our main. Looking at what news has come out. Let's see. Last news 12/21. Okay, so they announced a 1-for-16 reverse stock split. So this is I know Donnell had said last month, I believe, that he was going to be looking, or he might have did it this month. I think it was last month. He was talking about looking for reverse splits and things like that to play on. Here's our pretty much first reverse split in the small caps we've seen this year. That is looking like it's going to be something crazy today. On the second, it says they announced their 1-for-16 reverse split. Let's see, any more news other than that? They got a partnership agreement to advance commercialization of Noki Scan. And they also got a partnership agreement with Alphabetic, or is this the same agreement? Partnership with Alpha Informix platform. Okay, so we'll look into that and what all this talking about. Let's pop over there right now. Acon. So this was 1 hour ago. Let's go ahead and click into that. Partnership aims to include Clarion's surgical decision support technology within ATEC's Alpha Informix platform to better inform spine surgery. Clarion's Nakascan is the first augmented intelligence platform to measure pain biomarkers in the lumbar spine to help physicians identify the location of chronic low back pain. Okay. So that's not horrible. I wonder where this split is trying to go to. What is the price that it's trying to jump to? Clarion announces a reverse split. Okay, shareholders approved an amendment. 1-for-16. Let's see. Any price? Nope, I guess they just want to get above the minimum bid price of $1 for NASDAQ's minimum bid price rule. So they definitely did that, and they came out with news behind it. So we'll see how that goes. Interesting. Let's jump over to the float of this one. Jump over here to the float. Statistics. Let's see what we got here. Under 1 million in the float on a Clarion. So very, very volatile. Could be very, very volatile today. Let's see what kind of shelf registrations or anything like that it has. Oh. No shelf registrations to be seen with under 1 million in the float. Whoops. Icon. The Clarion pre-market 6 to 60. Okay. And this float says it's got 5.77 million in the float. Where's Finviz? This one says it's got 8 point something in the float. So we've seen under a million, 5 million, and then 8 million across the boards. All right, so we pretty much got the gist of what's going on there. Let's jump over to SPEC. And let's look at this 15-minute. And actually, let's go ahead and look at the charts on the biggest mover so we don't have to come back. Or when we do come back, it'll already be there. So ACON, let's jump over to the larger time frames. We can see on the monthly chart, nice little chart pattern that we've seen before. Only has about 2 years of trading. Let's see. And looks like it's a quick one. Like it can give those profits and then, you know, go on down, which we see a lot in the small cap world. Stocks trade like this, but this time this one has a reverse split and a kind of okay catalyst, right? About the whole spine and how their technology is going to be integrated into the other companies. But yeah, doesn't look horrible. Anyway, let's see if we can spot any areas that it may come down to. We got this 550-ish level here. There may be a zone down here to the 439s where it previously was down here. But at this point, it's trading at 6. So a dive down here to 550, down to 535 with the low float that is showing across the board, which the highest one that we saw was 8 million. It can get volatile. So I'm thinking if it gets volatile, it could get down into this zone between 550 and 439. And we'll see what happens out of the open. The next one, actually, let's go ahead and jump down to the 15-minute and see what we see on the 15-minute. So this is the 439, this little point that I marked here. And this is also a trading zone that it's been in before down here that it traded around between 439 and 543. Let's jump over to SPEC, our next one on here. SPEC. Where is your news? Okay, SPEC announces integration between AirCore and Geotab, delivering enhanced emissions monitoring on December 22nd. Okay. Announced a shipment of first commercial, and this is in November, first commercial units and manufacturing partnership with Columbia Tech. Okay. So not really seeing any follow-up news on today. Maybe something will drop on SPEC. Looking at this high here. Actually, let's look at the full chart first. All right, so this one's got under a year of trading as well. High up here at $8, and then a pull down all the way to 146. We've seen this thing, you know, kind of just trail off, and now today it wants to try to make some type of move. Got up there to $4 and came all the way back down to 281. Obvious levels of possible activity. I mean, 150 on the monthly chart would be like a line in the sand. Look, but no follow-up catalyst on that one, so I don't know how that one's gonna do. Let's go ahead and look at its stats here on SPEC. So we got a good morning, Lori. We got a float of 1.89 million on SPEC. Did we have any other kind of catalysts out here? Let's see, SPEC. So the last release was 17, or let's see, press release. Yeah, 17 days ago. And like I said, really didn't have any news for today. Today is our first full week of trading of the year. So there's a lot of time for speculation to happen, a lot of time for, you know, all these things to come to fruition, and we can find something that might want to make multi-day moves. Okay, Spectator. Let's go and look at his profile and see what they're up to. So this is pollution and treatment solutions based out of the United States. Spectre Holdings provides solutions that measure, manage, and reduce carbon dioxide equivalent and other greenhouse gas emissions. The company offers AirCore, a micro mass spectrometer device that monitors, tracks, and meets uh, emissions targets. It serves the logistics, energy, agriculture, academics, and indoor air industries. The company is based in Watertown, Massachusetts. Okay, so air pollution is their big thing over there. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to. Good morning, Donnell. Let's jump over to BINC. It's up 40. Actually, wait. Let's jump over to AMAM first. AMAM has came up here. And like I said, we've seen AMAM before. Last time it had the breast cancer news, so let's see what kind of crazy news it has today. AMAM, wait a minute. I want to look at this. The floats on this one. Float is 19 million. I know the first time we seen it, it was way lower than that. It was like maybe a 1 million, 2 million. Okay. Let's look at any kind of news that's popped out on it. 1 hour ago, Johnson and Johnson to acquired cancer treatment developer Amberix. Now, wait a minute. So Johnson and Johnson is buying them out for 2 billion. That is some pretty big news because it has a notable name in it. And of course, AMAM is $27. So we're gonna have to kind of see how that plays out today. Let's jump over to the larger time screens. So when it closed on Friday, it was at $13.63. Now it has jumped all the way above highs at the $22 here, which could be a area that it may come and test back to 22, all the way up here to $27. So that's what, like a $13 jump or something like that, around a $13 jump from where it was on Friday and all the way up there because Johnson and Johnson is trying to buy them. Let's see where they are in that process. So that's all they give us is a sentence. Oh, that's crazy. They only gave a sentence. Okay, let's go over to Thinkorswim and see what we see. Huge jump right there, but it doesn't have a whole lot of trading in here. I guess not a lot of people. I guess it's more sellers, people that maybe bought this thing super low, like down here at $10, and now they're sitting at 27. Maybe a lot of sell, but I don't know if they're gonna be willing to just sell right off with this big name in the news. Let's look press release, trade halting. And it says that Johnson and Johnson to acquire them in an all-cash merger. So they're buying them out cash. They must be working on some serious stuff. Okay. This is spec. Let's see. Johnson and Johnson cash merger. Ambrix announces sale. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the news that keeps getting repeated. And I guarantee it's going to hit all kinds of, circulation and all of that stuff today, but we'll see what happens with this starting trading though. It's kind of hard to see any kind of support or resistance. This is just out in the open. It could go up, it could go down. So that's a little bit too much of a 50-50. Let's look back at Acon. Or actually the last one we had on the list was VINC. Yeah, and then we also got CLRB coming up 15% as well. So VINC, let's look at that one. Viserix Pharma. A couple of pharmaceuticals this morning. Okay. All right, so this one, Virix Pharma, a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, researches and develops therapies to address unmet medical needs for treatment of cancer in the United States. A lot of cancer news going around. So I'm wondering, are these moving on sentiment with AMAM being bought with, or AMAM is basically a large breast cancer and ovarian cancer and all of that type deal. And so we're seeing a lot of biopharmaceuticals with cancer in their descriptions getting caught up. Okay, hematologic malignancies, phase 1 clinical trials to treat solid tumors. Yeah, so a lot of cancer news today. Let's jump to CLRB and see if it is also something dealing with cancer. Okay, Selector Biopharmaceutical or Biosciences announces positive top line data achieving primary endpoint in pivotal clinical study of whatever that is. What? Yeah, this is pediatric cancers. So CLRB, another cancer one. So in a situation like this, how do we identify the strongest one, right? The one that's going to move for us today, right? So we got 5 cancer. I'm gonna throw that one up there too. Let's go to HRTX, which is the next one. HRTX, Harpoon Therapeutics, Heron Therapeutics, other big stocks. Do you have any news today though? Partnership, post-operative pain. So this is another just pain one, but we're seeing some big cancer ones today. BLNK for some reason getting some type of heat today as well, but that's shifting into a whole nother sector of EV. So maybe in the future BLNK will be ready to do some moves as well. Um, I'll we'll see about that one. SNGX is another one up 10%. Let's see. This is Oral Legions. These are getting off topic. So I'm thinking that the cancer ones are going to be the ones that are going to be the most volatile, but we'll throw these little ones up here as well. BLNK, and we got, that means on the open we'll just do some cleanup. Right now the leading is Acon, but AMAM and some of these other cancer ones are looking very suspicious. Now BLNK is not a cancer, and then I think it's 2 others in here that are back pain, and spinal lumbar um, uh, catalyst. Good morning, Mike D. But yeah, we got 6 up here to watch. But to be honest, I mean the cancer is taking the day, looking like. But yeah, we'll be watching Acon out of the open, and we'll jump over to AMAM just to kind of see what it's doing, and then we'll check some of these other ones out. Oh, I didn't even realize SNGX was that cheap. Yeah, that's a no go. Okay, so now we got 6 of them. Want something that can give us that range. Okay. And I know we got some reverse splits on today as well. CYCC, and I think was it Acon with that reverse split? Yeah. CYCC is also moving on reverse split news. Going down the line, Mara. Okay, so now we're to things that just don't matter today. So we'll focus on the things that are up at least 10% and are getting that momentum going. I took SNGX off because of the price. I mean, if it was the only thing up today, SNGX, and it was, by itself lonely, then sure. But with all of this other stuff on the board, nah, nah. Okay, so jump back over here. Acon hit a top, and of course, we were looking at this zone here on Acon that it can come back and retest into. Acon 543 is the entry back into this zone. Acon gives, when we looked on the bigger time frame here, Acon does give back profits, but it gives nice pops before it fails. So this one could be something that scalpers go after today. But the zone that we were looking at right now, it is trading around 668. So it is trading uh, around somewhere in here. But the zone that we're looking at on the lower time frames was from 543, maybe 550 down to the 425s. Um, and we'll see how that reacts on the open. And actually, looking out here on the daily chart, we can see some gaps that are sitting out here as well. There's a gap right here. Let me switch this. There's a gap right in here on the daily chart. There's a gap right in here on the daily chart, and both of those got faded through. Now, is it going to try to fill them on the upside? Now, this gap is all the way up to $11. I don't know if it can get, I don't know what kind of push it's going to give today, but looking at these past throws up, I mean, it definitely can throw up, but it's going to need to really capitalize on those those areas, especially the breakout. If it can break out of 9, maybe it'll get into this zone and start testing. But that's a lot of movement with everything else on the board, so it's going to have to make itself known today, which I think it has already done, being up 105%. But 7 million shares traded. It does have a float. We saw 3 different floats across the different platforms that we looked at. One said that it was um, under a million in the float. One said it was like around 5 million. Then one said it was around 8 million. So 3 different variations of, that one. But yeah, AMAM's got the biggest news on the day. Has a big name in it, Johnson and Johnson. 2 things actually, Johnson and Johnson and cancer treatment. So big for AMAM today. Um, but I would definitely be aware that AMAM started at $13 before it got to 27. So it may see a little bit of selling, but with that Johnson and Johnson, people may be willing to hold. I don't know. We'll see. Especially if they're, I mean, if they're in low, if they were in at 13, why sell, right? Like you're winning so much. Why? You have to think about the psychology. Who's gonna really be dropping this thing? Who's really gonna be shorting this thing when nobody wants to sell? I don't know. Anyway, um, looking like we have about 5 minutes to the bell. We pretty much got what we want to see. CYCC just not sticking out. It may stick out later, but only up 5%. I think I'm gonna go ahead and clean that one off. I really like things that are go ahead and show us that it can actually gap at least 10%. BLNK I really don't care about. That's on a whole different thing. So already doing some cleanup here. Coming on up, CLRB was cancer. VNC was lymphoma cancer. SPEC was the emissions monitoring. So I don't know how well that's going to do with all this cancer stuff. And AMAM, then ACON. So we pretty much got our list narrowed down to 5 stocks, which that's the first thing we want to do in the morning is narrow down. Don't be looking at 50 stocks thinking, because you can get super emotional on that. If you're looking over here and then you're looking over here, you're like, oh, I missed that. Oh, I missed that. I just rather just continue to narrow down to something that's good. And then I run it through the grading test. But yeah, we got about 3 minutes to the bell. Hopefully y'all had a great weekend. My weekend was so. It was like kind of busy, kind of not. So, but I am glad to see our first trading week that is a full trading week. We got all the days on the last 2 weeks. Those kind of days that were or weeks that were missing a day, there was some weird trading in there. People just was not on the with those long weekends just coming in. There was a lot of weird movements in the market. So we'll see if we can start a cycle for 2024 of how the weeks are gonna go. How what kind of oh Give me 1 second in the call. Hello? All right, all right. Back to it. All right, so got a little call there, getting that business. So if the market don't do what I wanted to do, it don't matter. uh but anyway, we're gonna look down through the stocks that we had selected, these five stocks: Acon, AMAM, SPEC, VINC, and CLRB. Acon starting off, so we were or the zone that I had put out for this one was from 550 down to 439. I don't know if it's going to get down there. It does have 10 million shares traded, so a lot of eyes on Acon. Next one was AMAM, and like I said, this was just sitting in the opening. I was like, in my head, I'm thinking about the psychology of AMAM. Who's gonna sell? If they were in at 13, $14, why would they just throw their shares away at 27? Like, I don't understand it. Maybe some new shorts try to come and hit it, but I wouldn't be selling at that point, especially with the Johnson and Johnson catalyst and the cancer catalyst. Nah. Okay, Spec was another one that is up 63%, kind of bouncing around out here. And let's also look at the ATR. So Acon has an ATR of $1.09. AMAM has an ATR of $1.90, but it may not move a whole lot today because of how the price is right now. We have SPEC with 29 cents in the ATR, VINC 14 cents, and CLRB at 26 cents. And I'm constantly monitoring to see if anything else pops up with a nice ATR that is having a pretty decent momentum move and a pretty decent catalyst. But we haven't seen any of those yet, so we'll just continue to watch the ones that we got. Okay. So Acon coming on down, and remember the zone was down here at 550. And I was looking around this midpoint, $5, middle of this thing could be an interesting level, but it has $1.09, and the relative volume is 65 times the norm. The relative standard deviation is 7 times the norm, and so I'm just waiting, on this one, Acon. It does meet my ATR. It does have a catalyst. It does have relative volume, does have relative standard deviation. So I like it. Um, and we'll see how that one plays out. CLRB, these other ones, CLRB is just not doing any kind of motion that I like. It may be something that comes up another day, but for today, Acon is going to be my, I guess you could say, favorite as it comes down here. And let's go ahead and grade it while we're sitting here waiting on it. Is it halted down? It is halted down right now, right above this zone. So that'll give me time to get to everything that I need to get to here. Oh, let's see what we got. Where is my grading sheet? Money, my trade graders. There we go. Okay. So it looks like it's halted down right now. And I accidentally closed my other thing. What in the world I just do? Okay, there we go. Oh man, come on. Well, we got 5 minutes, whatever. Okay, everything's back up now. All right, so now let's go over here to that sheet for Acon or whatever it is. Yeah, Acon. So Acon, we're looking at a, why does it, bro? Are you serious? Okay, here we are. All right, so here's the grading sheet. Symbol Actually, let me go ahead and save this as what it's going to be. Stop loss calculator for Acon on what's today's date? 1.8.24. And we don't know if it's the trade or not, so we'll see what this thing comes out to be, and we'll save that as that. All right, so now we'll enter our ticker name, Acon. Looking interesting. Count, let's see, 8,008,289. Whoops. .61. Okay. Average expected entry price. This will definitely be below 5. So we'll just put an expected entry price. Let's say around 5. And risk amount, I could risk $400 on this one. Max share size that I can get is 1,658 shares. And looks like minimum share size I'll need to take to reach this risk will be 83 shares. And that will be it dropping all the way down to 0 from 5. So custom share size, I'll look to take 1,000 shares based on what I've seen. But we still haven't graded it yet. I'm just entering the numbers. And so we'll see what my average, once I enter my average entry price, if I do enter this, let's say if I start getting in at 475, it'll go ahead and put where to move my stop as we move on through this thing. So if I start entering at 475, the first R value of getting my risk, that 1 R is 41 cents in the profit. So we'll see if we can get that, but that's they'll be moving the stop up to 516, and then 2R 558, and that's pretty much how I've moved the stop there. But that's just an example. I don't know if I'm actually going to be entering at 475. Does it have 5 years of trading? It does not, for sure. ATR is 109 right now, 1.09. Relative volume looking like 68 times. We'll just put 70 times the norm. So definitely getting that one and getting that one. Relative standard deviation is 7. So we're at the top side of the standard deviation. 7. So we'll put a 1 in there. Obvious catalyst. First it had the reverse split, and then it had the what was the catalyst here? Let me look again. Catalyst, Clarion announces key milestone. That was back in November. I know it had the catalyst here. Clarion 1 for 16 reverse stock split. Partners with this was the one that was going to integrate their systems for to locate where spinal pain is in the lumbar region of the spine. Okay, so this one is adding its software to another system to locate areas of pain in spine. Okay, so it's got some catalysts. Of course, we got the cancer catalyst out here today as well. So the cancer catalyst could be overwhelming for it, but for now, I'll give it. It's not a crazy catalyst with the back spine, but whatever. We do have the support coming up, a whole dollar level of the $5 mental support level. And so that's where I'm looking for that. the trend. So the overall trend of this thing is upwards as of now. It's halted down, but of course it could definitely get some buying pressure back out of this. So we'll put it as an in between. Not sure yet. Due to halt. So we'll give it one there. And then what's the overall market doing? SPY. SPY, nice little wick up, trying to get back up to the 470s. We'll see what the SPY wants to do in just a little bit, but looking good there. Had a couple of days coming down into this low and creating a higher low here, 465, 466 holding and looking like it wants to get back up to the 470s. Okay, so let's put that in. So we're looking for, it definitely is looking better, but not really in an uptrend yet. So making higher lows, but not uptrending. So that'll be an in between. I'll just give it a 1. So we got 70% on this trade, right? 70%. So this should be reduced size, not half size. Reduced size is what I've been doing. But yeah, so that's the grading. It got a 70. If I'm gonna trade this, I'm gonna be looking to get around 1,000 shares and looking for it to retest probably the 550s today for a 2-hour win if possible. But that'll be the dopest move. Just get 2-hour and just leave, right? That'll be $800. But let's see what we got popping up here on the scan. We got another one popping on the scan. HARP popped on the small cap rangers. It's just not really seeing a whole lot on that one, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But it's up 111%. Let's see what the news catalyst is on this one. MW Merck reportedly in talks to buy drug maker for more than double Friday's price. Okay, Merck will acquire Harpoon per $23 per share. Okay, and it's already there. Harpoon's already at basically $23, so I wouldn't even touch that. But anyway, let's just focus on what we got here. Acon. So Acon, we got the plan drawn up. We're looking for this thing. Has it been 5 minutes or is this a 10-minute halt? Where are my halts? Trade halt. Acon halted at 935.58. Should be opening up at, yeah, opening up lower here into the zone that we were looking at. And let's see what happens down to $5. So it's got a couple of cents to get down there. It's got the relative volume, got everything that I like. It's got a 70, so not full size, but you know, reduced share size here. And coming on down. Now the previous level that it had traded to was like 480s right here on the 15-minute, and just giving it time as it drops, as it comes on down towards that 5. See if we can get continuation push, or is it going to consolidate right under the 5 for today? That would be dope. If it can consolidate there and then give me a nice move back up to the upside. So looking at this pre-market, this would be the 2R up here from that 475 entry right at the 6 that I could be selling into. But first I gotta see this momentum slow down. This is a little bit of a short-term gap right here, up to 558. So I'm not too interested in taking this trade just yet, but it is in a zone that I like. And this, let's go ahead and change this color to an all-out point. So I'll change that to green right there at the test of the 6. And then 439 was like the bottom that I was looking at. So we'll put this as blue, kind of like a line in the sand that it needs to hold. I want a darker blue. I want a darker blue. Let's go there. Okay, so now we got a line that or a zone that I want to sell at $6, and then I want to see this thing continue this momentum down to test this 480. Now from 480 to 439, I'm really interested on this one because it's entering that level where I'm like, okay, it just needs to hold this, and we'll be good today. Let's flip back over to AMAM. Not doing much out of the open. Spec coming on down as well. And ACON. All right. So getting that continued push down into these levels. Looking nice. Looking nice. There's the $5 getting hit there. Continued momentum. So all I'm waiting for is consolidation for real. You know, on ACON. All right, so at this point, I'll be looking to, let's see, 475. 475. And be looking at that one. I can get almost 2,000 shares, but I'm just gonna stick to 1,000 shares just to build into this position. And I'm not going to be entering one big share size. I usually enter a little bit and then enter a little bit more if it comes down, enter a little bit more, and let it play up back up to the upside for me. So yeah, that's the plan on that one. These other ones, I really haven't seen anything that I like. So yeah. Jumping back over here to the scans real quick. All right, so it's coming on down to the fives. And this is where I would like to see those buyers start to make it consolidate. But with these bars, I got to see the momentum slow down. There's the 490s coming down to the 483. Coming down to this previous level that it had right here. But it is a volatile stock. So there's the 475 point where I'm looking. But I need to see this thing slow down before I even start my entry. $475s did get hit. And just because it tapped it doesn't mean that, oh, I need to just jump in. Nah, bro. Not with this momentum. If we look on the larger time frame, this 439 that I'm looking at that I put as this blue line, I didn't even look at this on the monthly, but what it is it's entering the red on the previous candle. So coming down towards this 439, I mean, if I can get 450, I mean, I'll take 450 now. But like I said, I have to wait for that confirmation that this thing is wanting to continue to receive buying pressure. Just up 50% right now. Spec still moving up as well. So a couple of things still kind of taking that attention. Spec right now with 21 million shares traded. But it has a lot more of the wicks in here. So we'll see what it wants to do. Looks like it's wanting to go for a breakout over the 325s. ACON slowing down around that 5. I like it. Some buyers coming in around this 5. But I'm gonna wait for these candles to close to make sure that 5 is where it wants to hold. Oh. And so basically what I do is in the mornings I look for the obvious spot and see now it's retesting 5, but what I what I know is usually when things start to retest it, it doesn't really mean that they're actually holding yet. Right? They'll come up, they'll retest the 5 and then people will jump in and then they'll fall. They'll get more people to buy in under 5, more people to buy in under 5. So I kind of wait for that confirmation that hey, this thing is actually going to hold this previous bottom here, which is the 467 down here. It's going to actually hold this level. It's already tested there once and trying to hold the 5, but still has not stopped the momentum. And also we have about 6 minutes on this candle. Now, I know I'm definitely going to have to get to my meeting, but this is going to be the one that I'm probably looking for today to retest, 550, something like that. If it doesn't just absolutely cave this 439. If it gets down here to 439, you know, better prices, but am I buying a falling knife at that point, right? So a little bit of struggle right there at the 5. AMAM back VINC trash. Gone. All right. CLRB. There was another cancer one. Does not have the ATR that I like though, so can't really give me what I want there. Okay. Acon still playing around here. Is it going to certify that buyers are in here though? Go ahead and get rid of one of these. So 466 down to the 439s. And I'm wondering, can we get a nice bounce off of 439 is the question. About to close up this candle. Now, 5 minutes, I'm going to go off stream, but this is what I'm looking at. So if you're in the Discord, we'll definitely be talking about this in the Discord as it continues to try to hold up 5. But, I'm going to wait for candles to close so I don't get caught holding the knife. Let's see. Lori Reliable says Donnell 305. So you CLRB. Yeah. I'm just gonna chill up out here with Acon around the 5. Let it go ahead and fall through a little bit more as it captures more buyers and more buyers and more buyers. And it already has the low of 466 here. Let's see if it can go ahead and flush on them and then give an even better position here. But CLRB, I do see it on the charts for sure. It just does not meet the criteria. Let me read some of these comments. 319. Oh yeah. Got a nice little push off of that. Let's see. Donnell was on the ask for 340 for the first trims. Yeah. Yep. see if we can get just a slight pull down. Because at this point, now 466 is the new low. So that's where people are like, ooh, they're buyers at 466. But yeah, this is the only one that I see for this Monday morning for me, for my style of trading. Got people in around the 5. And now is it gonna spook them again under 5? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Candle hasn't closed yet. People jumping in, getting slayed on this candle. And now after this, real buyers come in if it starts to consolidate, if it slows down. But right now, the battle is going back towards the 475s. All right, so here's 465 coming down to 439s now. And at this point, the candle is about to close. This is 439 that is touching down here. It's got about 1 minute, and it's got this opening volume. So I'm probably gonna end up taking this one on today for a retest. So let's go ahead and change what we had on the charts. 450 expected under 450. So at this point, my first R would be back up to 5. All right, back up to 5 would be the first R. And there's a new candle, but still not interested because it ended up at the bottom side of this previous candle. So may give us even better prices, but it is 9 o'clock. Need to jump off here and get to my morning meeting. Y'all know what I'm looking for. If it breaks 439, I'm gonna see if it finds consolidation there. But with this momentum, I'm not buying in until I see this thing slow down. But yeah, that is it for me today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you, Reliable Rudy, jumping into the chat. Donnell, Mike, Lori, appreciate all of you guys. I need to get out of here. But anyway, keep your head on a swivel. If I take this trade, of course, I'll update you guys of how the trade goes. But yeah, looking at this thing, looking at where the top of this is in comparison, I mean, this would be a crazy pop all the way back up here to 547. If it went up there right now and then came back, that would kill the trade for me. So I wanted to consolidate down here above this 439 and give me a nice entry for a retest of 5. And again, looking at this at my stop, my first 41 cents in profit would be above the 491 and then up to the 533s and all the way to 6. That would be a 4-hour trade. So that would be 4 times what my risk is. 4 times this, 414. So waiting for that to come into play and giving it time on the day. So, but anyway, appreciate you guys once again. And as always, another beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful time to be trading. Be careful, keep your head on a swivel. Trading is risky. Definitely, you can lose a lot, but I would say just keep your head on straight, keep your risk managed, and get that good positioning. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.